These are Donna Hay's courgette and kimchi fritters, packed full of delicious ingredients, a variety of different fibers, and a wonderful side salad that came together in literally minutes. What a treat. Doctor's Kitchen. Recipes, health, lifestyle.
Should we get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Put the 4 eggs into the bowl for me.
I will do. Very conscious of my styling.
You think this is to flip the fritters, but I'm going to hit you with it. If your styling's bad, I'm just going to give you a little sting, you know? This is just a basic fresh ricotta fritter. It's heavy on the ricotta. I just like to have a little bit of flour in it. And you can use plain flour, wholemeal spelt, doesn't matter. You can swap, all works.
Oh,
it
nice.
all
Okay,
works.
great.
But what we like to add to the flour is a couple of teaspoons of baking powder, because I like my fritters fluffy instead of
love
dense.
a fluffy fritter.
Yeah, so let's just add that into there, so when we sift it over, it's all combined. To that, I'm just going to add some lemon. So if you wanted to take down the amount of parmesan, you could. No biggie.
Definitely not.
Definitely not? Okay, sorry.
I'm a big parmesan fan.
So in with the parmesan, bit of salt and pepper. Not too much salt, because the parmesan's already nice and salty.
Nice.
Now, as we were chatting about, I'm big on the fresh herbs, so we're going to load this one up with basil and coriander.
Great.
The coriander to complement the kimchi, and the basil to kind of pull it through with the lemon and the more traditional flavors. I'm just going to run my knife through the whole lot.
Yeah. And so this is something that you would knock up, what, for your kids at home, or if you need like a snack?
For me, the fritter is the all-rounder. It's breakfast, it's brunch, it's lunch. I'm big on communicating with my boys. I think if you lose communication with teenagers, you might be done for.
Right.
So while I'm cooking, they're more likely to hover around the bench. And then I'm not too precious about them stealing them out of the out of the fry pan or eating straight off the bench, because you know you can't pull up teenage boys. It's better to keep them close than to let them run away. Okay, that's looking good. Let's swap to the spatula.
Okay.
Lots of ricotta. Just grated zucchini. If your zucchini feels overly wet, just give it a press with absorbent paper. But I think we're feeling pretty good.
Am I just folding this in?
Yeah, just fold it in.
I want to make sure you're not going to hit me with a spatula. So
I know, I'm an
just
aggressive
making sure
girl.
I'm doing everything according to your instructions. This is a different side to you that I'm seeing from the pod.
I'm probably not even following my own recipe. I'm just like ad-libbing.
Well,
totally.
This is literally how I cook as well. Like I have a recipe in a cookbook or whatever, and then I'll just completely go off piste.
Yeah.
It's important.
That's the great thing about a fritter. It's not going to be a disaster. Let's put this in now, just with that baking powder, and really just ad-lib on the flour, whatever you like to use. Instead of trying to add too much wet veg to the fritter, then we can add some extra greens and salad to the side, which I think is the key.
Am I spatulaing this?
You're doing great. Should we turn the cooktop on so I can feed you and your team? The only thing I like to do at this stage, because we've added the acid with the lemon and the kimchi with that baking powder, so we have fluffy fritters, is we want to get going. Because the baking powder, not only does it activate with heat, it activates with acid. So we've got acid in there. Pull this up to high. See how we... Oh, you've got chef hands already. Dr. Chef hands.
Dr. Chef hands,
So we want to get that nice and hot. We want them brown, bubbling like a pancake, you know, puffing up before we flip them over.
Perfect,
Okay, I think we're... Can you see how that's already starting to activate in there?
I can see the pockets.
Yeah.
I'm glad we chose this recipe. It's actually really healthy. So we've got your protein in there from your eggs. Yes, we've gone quite ham on parmesan, but I like that. And then we've got courgette or zucchini, you've got kimchi.
When you cook kimchi, is it still alive or do you kill it?
Great question. So technically no, because if you're getting a real sort of probiotic and you apply heat to it, you're going to be killing off those live microbes. But there is still somewhat of a probiotic effect in your gut, because there's something called the parabiotic effect. Like when you have those microbes and you've got those cell walls around them, when you consume them, there appears to be some benefit to your gut microbes as well. So technically it does inactivate the live microbes, but it still has a beneficial effect on your gut. That's the big thing.
So when I make my salad bowl, I should still put my kimchi on the side
get a
to
mixture
get the
of both.
maximum.
Exactly, so get a mixture of both. So cooking it
this is
great.
I love this. I have so many questions.
Do you want me to chop any tomatoes or?
Well, yeah, I just think we'll make a little salad.
We'll do
just to go on the side.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to get a really nice tang from the kimchi. The other thing is that I'm a big broccoli fan. I feel like broccoli is my kind of super super
Yeah.
vegetable.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
my
yeah.
boys don't like it. But I would grate on a box grater broccoli into that
Yeah,
so they can't
yeah.
taste it.
And they can't taste it when you add all the other ingredients. I think that's a really good hack for a lot of people out there, any parents that are trying to get more veg into their kids, just like sneak it in.
I sneak things into my wife's all the time.
Yeah.
And grating broccoli, and broccoli is like one of my favorite vegetables as well. You know, from the brassica family, it's got all those anti-inflammatory ingredient chemicals in there, like glucosinolates and indole-3-carbinol, anti-inflammatory. They're such a good sort of like everyday veg. But there's so many different ones. There's like kale, caballero, there's cabbage. There's so many different ones that you can use, and all those can be grated into that. Do you want a little bit of oil on the top?
Yeah. Why not?
Just a little drizzle.
Yeah. Just to safeguard it,
Yeah.
the base sticking.
From
Great
sticking.
idea.
Yeah.
But pans are so controversial, aren't they? I get
Yeah.
asked about them all the time.
We use stainless steel pans here. We like to sort of use the ones that we know are non-toxic, but the non-stick pans I think definitely have a place in everyone's kitchen because there are certain things that are near impossible to do with the stainless steel.
I'm just going to do a little light drizzle.
Yeah, nice, nice.
And then why not use this for our acid on our salad, because I already took the outside off, so we'll just give that a little.
Yeah, and that's sort of like, we were talking about it on our podcast, but that balance of acid, sweetness, bitterness, it sort of comes natural to people who have spent a lot of time in the kitchen, but like, I find it difficult to explain that sometimes to people. Like, you need to balance the acidity, the sweetness, the bitterness. Like, how do you communicate that when you're talking about recipes?
No, I guess that's what we do in the test kitchen, and I think it's something that my mother couldn't do so well. You know, she really desperately wanted to serve us really healthy food, but she just couldn't get the balance right. So you'd kind of have stodgy, starchy instead of something vibrant on the side. I think, as you said, you know, you've just got to be mindful of, if you're loading stuff with greens, you might want to add some lemon rind for acid, or some balsamic, or the kimchi, you know, the zing. Because you don't want to be chewing through all those greens, especially when you're converting people to eating more veg.
Totally,
Or my teenage sons, you know, you want to have that zippiness about it as well. I'll often put some horseradish or wasabi in the dressing because they love sushi, so they love that zingy wasabi-ness. So I'll often make them a salad, but put wasabi in the dressing, so it's you know, it's kind of got one of those flavors that they love.
Totally, keeps you on your toes as well.
Just gonna pop a little salad, little sharing board.
Nice.
Being Australian, you know, I'm all about the simplistic and the share. Just a bit casual Sydney cider.
Absolutely. It's my favorite way to eat, just putting everything in the middle of the table.
Let's just do that.
These will just slide off.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could serve it with some of that extra kimchi.
Where would you like me to put this?
Why don't we put that there?
Yeah, I'm just scared about putting,
No, that's good.
putting it onto your board.
And then I always have to turn it around because I style backwards to the camera.
Ah, okay.
I'm a backwards
there you
stylist.
Go.
So then we'll have all that together. A little bit of extra zippy. We're sitting in the sun. We're sharing some fritters. It's my zucchini and kimchi ricotta fritters.
What a treat! What an awesome treat! Can I dive in?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
I'm
nice
gonna
and fluffy.
A little bit of the kimchi.
A little bit of extra spice.
I always need to get a little bit, don't I? Oh. I'm in Sydney. I'm having healthy food. I'm by the beach. That is Australia
I like
on
the
a
little
plate.
zip of the kimchi at the end of the fritter.
I love it. It's
Yum.
creamy, it's rich, but it's also got some of the sharpness from the kimchi that is like perfect. That is a wonderful snack. This is awesome. You've got to try this. You're wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh no,
honestly,
I have
this
so
is
many
such
questions
a
for you.
pleasure,
I'm
honestly.
like, my brain's on overdrive.
No, it's all good.